Hi, you're listening to the My Body, My Story podcast.
The major challenge basically is the hormonal turmoil that you go through. That very few women talk about it because there is so much taboo around it.
This is the 45 over 45 chapter, where we celebrate rule breakers and role models, the women who inspire us to live life our way and to show their sensuality, beauty, soul, and true essence. Here we talk about what it's like to be 45 plus, adjusting to the changes that come with time, and we'll listen to the stories of our participants. If you have an interesting story to share, we'd love for you to participate. You can email us on info@alexandrawalker.com, and that's Alexandra spelled with a KS, or visit our website alexandrawalker.com.
Hi, Lucie.
Hi, Alessandra.
Welcome to our studio. And while you're sitting in the makeup chair and getting your makeup and hair done, I will ask you a few questions and we will chat about you. So tell us a bit about yourself.
So my name is Lucie, right? And I'm 53 years old now. When I found out about your job, I thought that was very interesting for me to do, because now I just think about starting to do some mature age modeling. I'm a nurse as a profession, a psychiatric nurse, but now I'm quite interested in doing mature age modeling because I was a model on TV when I was younger.
Oh, wow.
So I just feel a bit nostalgic about being a model. So this is a kind of good exercise for me to feel like I'm going back in time.
That's great. So,
But at the same time embracing how I look now. Which I was just telling Tanya, that I just want to look like 53 now. Don't want to look younger, but how I am right now.
yes. So, whom did you model for?
So I used to model for basically catalogs of swimming wear and lingerie when I was younger. And then I had basically full-time job on TV advertising jewelry.
Here in Australia?
In Italy. Yeah. So it was 3 hours of life on TV presenting antique jewelry.
What are you most passionate about?
So I'm quite passionate about what I do because I deal with basically the human dramas. So basically my job involves talking about people's lives, people crises, people difficulties and struggles to life. And so I'm the person who is there for them when they are at their worst or in the moments of crisis. And so it's quite difficult and challenging, but at the same time, quite rewarding to be able to be there for people. So I'm quite passionate about what I do.
Is it kind of a counseling job or...
Basically, I provide psychiatric assessments for people at one of the busiest Sydney emergency departments.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's quite challenging, but can be quite rewarding as well.
Interesting. Did you have any interesting cases during your practice?
Yeah, of course, I have to keep it all confidential, but I think that every day I always get surprised about people's stories. Yeah.
And now you're here to tell your story.
And now I'm here to tell my story, that's right. And I have a passion for animals as well, in particular dogs. So I have a small dog, and I'm just starting to do dog sitting as well. So I'm quite a versatile kind of person.
Yeah. Do you have any particular breed of dogs or type of dogs you
Poodles.
like?
I love poodles.
Poodles.
Yeah, the smallest ones. They look like teddy bears.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, they like adults. You can brush them, you can groom them, and dress them up. It's like having like a doll, you know?
And play with them.
Yeah, and play.
Everyone knows that with age we change. But what positive changes have you experienced with age?
Well, I think the main positive thing is that I stop to put so much pressure on how I look and how slim I am or how beautiful I am. Is like there is a point where you say that's enough, you just come to your own acceptance. Right. And I think that's, for me, it happens like that. I felt like I just gave up on trying to appear in a certain way and just accepting how I look like. You know, like when you are younger, you have so much pressure to be slim and to look in a certain way. And I think with the age, you kind of relax about it. At least I did. Well, I'm relaxed about how I look. Right. Because you understand that the most important thing that will never, that doesn't change, that you carry with you forever is your knowledge and your experience, and you become more wise, so you give a different value to things in life.
Where do you think this idea of perfect body image comes from?
So I think much is to do with the cultural values and the media. I think that there has been always a pressure on women to be beautiful. I remember myself as a little girl, you know, like being pointed out some cultures, for example, there is some aspects of your physical body that has to be in a certain way. And I think women ourselves, you know, set up some kind of ideas on how you should look like, or how big your nose is, or you know, your lips have to be bigger, or your hair have to be blonde, and you know. So I think it's us women that is actually part of our history on of doing crazy things and painful things to look in a certain way and to be beautiful, and the pressure of being beautiful. And now the idea of beauty has changed over the years. Like in the past, like for example, in the classic era, like the Greek, the woman should be more voluptuous.
Right.
In the last few years, there has been the obsession that you have to be like really, really skinny. I hope this goes away because I'm getting sick of it.
I think now we have trends quite opposite, and different brands are trying to show the real woman,
Yeah,
with her real curves and body, not that anorexic, slim,
yeah,
ideal
yeah.
image.
Because in nature, the idea is that we are voluptuous in hips, that we have a little bit of body fat to be able to childbearing. So, so we went against nature basically in the last few years, in my opinion.
Hopefully it will come back to normal.
You grow up to be an adult woman. Your body cannot remain as a teenager for the rest of your life, you know. And that is, I noticed that there has been a lot of pressure in the last few years that you remain like a teenager kind of body, you know, as you reach middle age, that unless you are one of those few like peoples in the world that have time to be 2-3 hours at gym and do a very restricted diet, you won't get a body like that.
Or genetically slim.
Exactly, which are very few women. You know, the majority of women, in my understanding, are not like that.
So, coming to question, what is the biggest challenge you experience at this age now? Would it be body change or something else?
I think the major challenge basically is the hormonal turmoil that you go through. That very few women talk about it because there is so much taboo around it. So I think that is the main challenge, because that is something that is totally out of your control. It's just biological, meaning that happened to you, and you go through this turmoil of situations because of that. And keeping yourself healthy, and I think that is the most challenged thing that you go through as a woman around 45, my age 53. The ones that are going through, they know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Describe your greatest accomplishment.
So I think my greatest accomplishment have been to set up my life as it is, to have conquer my independency, to have leave my home country, South America, and coming here and starting a new life for myself, and that I have been able to do this all on my own without anyone, giving me a hand. So it was hard, but at the same time I feel like very accomplished that I made up, and do what I want, and build up a career for myself and a life for myself that I really enjoy, and I have my own security, or at least my sense of security, because nothing is completely safe in life.
True. Nothing is secure.
Yeah. So I think that's the main thing for me, really.
That's great. And how long you've been in Australia?
So I've been in Australia since 1998, so a little bit more than 20 years. Yeah, it went so fast. And finally, I feel like I made Australian home,
Yeah, I was going to ask if you feel like home
here.
Because,
when you are a migrant, you always feel like you are divided, that you're not centered, that your heart is always somewhere else. And now I think that's a great accomplishment for me, because I really feel that I'm made, and I feel like Australia home, that I am home, that I'm not divided, and because that what makes you happy, to feel like you are where you wanted to be. Mm-hmm. So that's a great achievement for me.
What advice would you give your 30-year-old self?
Don't stress too much, things, if you keep working hard as you are, things will happen and you'll find your way. Eventually everything will set in place. I think like as a 30-year-old, I put on so much pressure on myself, like you are so anxious about, what are you going to accomplish? What are you going to do? And, maybe just try to be happy and enjoy the journey. Yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give younger women who will eventually undergo these changes?
I think that if you, from early age, you learn to look after yourself and value yourself, and that includes, in a holistic way, psychologically, find yourself, know what you want from life, and value what you got, your own body, because we're talking much about women's body, and value it, give yourself value, and respect yourself. And that means that you're going to be able to look after yourself and take care of yourself, in particular your health. And if you are healthy, you get at this age, the way you want it to look like.
Yeah, it seems like health is the most important topic with the age.
Yeah, because that reflects in your skin, in your hair, in your energy levels, and how motivated you are to do things. and you cannot forget, your mental health. And to have a good mental health, you need to, eat well, be healthy, do things that, make you feel good, sleep well, and sounds like a cliche, but that really makes a difference.
Right.
Yeah, and then have a good relationships in your life, and yeah.
Everything should be balanced for
Yeah.
your peace of mind.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you feeling good and looking good? What do you think comes first?
Obviously comes first feeling good, because that really reflects. Personally, I think I only look beautiful when I actually feel good. If I feel good, then I'll look good. And it's very attractive, actually. Happiness is very attractive. You can look very good, but if you're not happy, you don't attract, you don't look beautiful. People don't notice you, Nothing beats a smile, a genuine one.
The beauty is within.
Yeah, look, like for example, I found that there some occasions there were women much more beautiful than me, but I attract much more men because I was happy.
The good energy.
Yeah.
That's true.
I remember being in Rio de Janeiro, Rio, there are so many beautiful women. And I was like in a bar there, in a club there, and there were so many beautiful women, but for some reason my table was full of champagne because men keep sending champagne to my table. And
why would you think was that?
Because I think I was so happy that, that was a proof to me that happiness is very attractive, And there could be so many other beautiful, like physically beautiful women or people out there, but if they're not happy, they don't attract, people. People don't think it's beautiful.
That's true. That's true. So, when and what makes you feel the most beautiful?
It's about being where you wanted to be and doing what you wanted to do, what works for you, the clothes that you feel comfortable with, the way you like to be. You're not worrying about anything. You don't have any problems that you are worrying about. That's why it usually happens when you are on holidays. You don't worry about anything. When you are there just to enjoy life. And also you don't worry much about you look in either, because that's even irrelevant when you are happy, You just don't have a thought about it. It's just being in the present.
Yeah, being in present and being relaxed.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Going with the floor.
Yeah, but to do that, you have to be in a certain state of mind, and to reach that, like there is a work behind it. Like it's about waves. Life is like waves, like you work hard and stuff. If you are always relaxing and never doing anything, you wouldn't be able to appreciate those relaxing times. So yeah, it's at the end, it's all about balance. If you don't work hard, then you're not able to enjoy, your moments of relaxation either.
What is your favorite quote about being a woman, or your favorite thought?
Well, I don't know how is the experience about being a man, so I think the experience about being a woman is great. There are so many great things about being us, for what we can do, for how we can look like, for being feminine, For me, it's a pleasure being feminine. I don't mind the feminine things,
What do you think is the biggest power of us as women? Which the biggest power we have?
I think that the biggest power is the feeling of being female, and then the fact that we can have children, I think that's the main thing, and that is very powerful.
Thank you very much, Lucie, for joining our project and to telling your story and sharing your thoughts. And hopefully you will enjoy the photo shoot and the experience.
Yeah, I think I will, yeah.
Thank you, Lucie.
If you have an interesting story to share, we'd love for you to participate. You can email us on info@alexandrawalker.com, and that's Alexandra spelled with a KS, or visit our website alexandrawalker.com.